two last stews. Going down in about 2 minutes. Stand by. Return of the two last stews. Going down in about 1 minute. Stay tuned. Sports talk so good, makes you want to slap your mama. The return of the two last stews in 30 seconds. Stand by.
This is what it is, okay? You know what it is. You have to do the right thing. You have to go home to the family, you understand?
I'm not saying you gotta go back there this minute, but you gotta go back.
If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
Fresh off the Plizzane. You know my dang name.
You cheating some of them.
Look, man, I'm all excited over here, and you look like you scared.
Boy, stop. He ain't never scared.
If you not stewing, what in the hell are you doing? Did you say good morning to Waterhead?
Good morning, Keghead.
It's not Keghead, man.
What do you mean?
It's Waterhead. And really, he doesn't have a Waterhead. He doesn't have a Keghead or anything like that. The only reason I started calling him that, a little alliteration, that's all. You get it? Waterhead, Walter, alliteration.
Well, real quick.
You missed that in middle school
It's
English.
hard working with people that you generally don't like.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And I try to be a grown-up because I'm 42 years old, 3 kids, a dog, a mortgage, and a wife.
I have grown so much as a person.
Right. I'm trying to play the role of the 42-year-old grown-up father.
Right.
But I don't like alphas. I don't get down with alphas. So I try to be cordial, but when he does things like he's been doing sometimes, it just really gets under my skin because he's an alpha and he shouldn't be doing what he's doing. That's making me, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but you acting like you still on campus, man.
I know.
You got 3 head of churns.
That's a problem.
Welcome to the Two Live Stews, Doug Stewart, Ron Stewart. Stupendous Saturday to you.
Wee!
Yeah, the return of the Two Live Stews.
Good morning, sir.
What was that ooh-wee about?
Just excited about life, man. Love being on the air. Love talking sports with you.
I thought you were laughing at your commentary
It's
towards
Saturday
Walter
morning.
last week.
I mean, what the hell was Walter just doing? Walter just played 2 minutes of us talking about Walter. That was very selfish of Walter to hijack the show like that.
So the truth comes out. The truth comes out.
That wasn't about anything other than Walter just now. Very selfish.
Good morning, sir. How you doing?
I'm absolutely stupendous, blessed by the best. Shouts out to my guy, Bruce Hagen. He is the people's lawyer. Check him out on the web at hagen-law.com. Personal injuries, all that Bruce does, sir.
Yeah, stupendous Saturday to you once again. The return of the Two Live Stews right here on 640 WGST. 10 the Stewway coming up for you today, man, where we talk about the 10 biggest stories from this past week and the coming weekend, as well as the Funky Four, the 4 biggest games in football. We will preview them.
Can I cut you off real quick?
You do it all the time.
You've
been doing it for
you do realize
like 15 years you've been doing that.
Listen,
matter of fact, you've been doing that ever since you was 2 years old.
Unlike Walter.
Hey, can I cut you off
on the Two Live Stews, 640 AM WGC. Unlike Walter being selfish and hijacking the show for the first 2 minutes, I'm not going to do that. what I'm about to say is not about me.
Right. And you're listening to the Two Live Stews.
It's not about my sports knowledge or intellect. It's not about my thoughts.
Right.
It's just about Falcons fans needing to wake up and realize that it is what it is.
Well, I mean, I think most of them realize that by at this point. I think they realize that it is what it is. I actually went to the game last weekend in Carolina and Charlotte.
After a 5-0 start, the Falcons are at risk of being the first team in NFL history to finish with a losing record. The NFL's been around, 250, 275 years? 300 years?
No, not 300 years.
How long has it been around? A long time.
Not 300 years.
A long time.
Not 300 years. The great Kunta Kinte played for the Atlanta Falcons back in 1840, huh? No, man.
It's one of the fastest teams they had. I read about that.
But, yeah, man, all week I kept hearing the phrase, same Falcons. Same Falcons, really for the last couple of weeks. What is that? We'll get into this in 10 the Stewie, man, but very disappointing to say the least.
I'm a tad premature, okay? I put the cart before the wheel on the show. I apologize. It's in the rundown. I kind of just ripped rogue. I apologize.
Okay, so let me throw out a couple things at you.
But it hurts.
Before we get into the show.
And I'm not a Falcon fan, but it hurts.
Have you been to a Carolina game this year or over the last 2 years since they've been doing good? The end of last season, you haven't?
I have not been to a Carolina game this year.
When I tell you, and I was down there last week rooting on the Falcons, there was somebody photoshopped me in a Carolina Panthers jersey.
Let's talk about that for a second, man.
But I disputed that whole thing.
You finished first.
What? No.
It wasn't Photoshop, man.
No, it was Photoshop.
You had on a Steve Smith jersey.
That's a lie. That is a lie. Somebody photoshopped me in a Steve Smith jersey in Charlotte for the Carolina Panthers and Atlanta Falcons. Now, listen. Now, let me say this, and you're listening to the Two Live Stews. Let me say this for the record.
I was thoroughly disappointed in you.
Let me say this for the record. This is my 20th year in Atlanta. I roll with the Falcons. I roll with all the home teams. But if I wanted to, if we wanted to, we could support the Carolina Panthers. We are from the great state of South Carolina. But I did not wear a Steve Smith jersey last weekend in Charlotte, eating barbecue and having a good time and drinking alcohol with all the Charlotte Panthers fans. I did not do that. That's a lie. That's a lie. Now, that being said, the point of me bringing this up was the atmosphere.
The mime of the guy in the Falcons uniform when they're 5-0 do like this, and then when they get to 5 and 5,
he's backing into the
bush. And then he comes out with a Carolina jersey on. That's you, man. You're Judas, man.
And you're listening to the Two Live Stews. Let me say this. The point of me bringing that up is, had a great time. I mean, Charlotte is pretty cool. It's not Atlanta. And everybody from there always talks about how great Charlotte is. Charlotte ain't that damn great.
It was Atlanta 50 years ago, man.
Right? No,
50.
The point, right?
50.
In that aspect,
yes.
The point I wanted to make is the festive atmosphere down there reminded me so much of when the Falcons had it going on 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago down at Georgia Dome.
I know you're trying to say when the Falcons had Vic and it was hot. I know you're trying to say
when
that.
Vic was here.
But you don't want to say his name.
It was that type of atmosphere. Yeah. It was like a carnival every weekend, and that's how it was last week in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Let's make a vow.
Those people are excited.
Let's make a vow never to say that ninja name on the show again. Okay?
Well, we already made that vow, but you've already broken it 30 times. So it don't even matter.
I got season tickets not because my cousin Brian Scott was drafted by the Falcons, but because his quarterback was named that dude.
Yeah.
That's why I got season tickets, man.
Crazy.
We would be out here 4 hours before every game and 2 hours after every game for 8 games a year.
It was like a festival celebration last weekend in Charlotte.
Cam's got it hot, man.
It kind of reminded me of back in the day.
Cam's got it hot. And I'm going to say one thing about this, man. Why wouldn't Cam have it hot when he has literally won a championship at every level of football that you can play?
Yeah. We'll get more into that.
At every level.
We'll get more into that in 10 the Stew Way. Second thing, are you geeked to go and see Star Wars, man?
Let me know when they get to the Dollar Theater, man.
What?
Yeah, let me know.
You're not going to go see Star Wars?
It'll be on.
And you're listening to the Two Live Stews.
It'll be on demand in a week, 2
Sir.
weeks.
The only reason I didn't go out there last night dressed as Obi-Wan Kenobi is because they were asking for $17.
Listen, man.
What?
You would have dressed up
like who? And they were getting it.
You would have dressed up like who?
Obi-Wan.
There's a guy that comes to my barbershop. Shouts out to Rocky's Barbershop over there off of Sidney Marcus. A guy that comes to the barbershop, his name is Nip. And the reason why they call him Nip is because he's offering to sell you things, and he always ends by offering you a nip.
Every barbershop got one.
A nip of liquor, okay?
Right. What is a nip? I think nip is a Monk's term. And you're holding your fingers a little bit less than half an inch.
Nip will have Star Wars, this new movie, on some type of flash drive or some type of CD within the next week.
Wait a minute.
Within the next 4 to 7 days.
And you're listening to the Two Live Studios.
I will watch Star Wars in my basement.
Hey.
Nip will have it.
You just broke some type of man law just now.
Listen,
I'm not exactly sure which one.
Windows concussion.
But you told the world, and we are listened to right now all over the world.
Windows concussion.
You just told the world that there's a dude named Nip that goes to Rocky barbershops and sells bootleg movies. And he will have Star Wars on disc within a day or two.
Dante, when does concussion come out?
Christmas Day.
I done seen it 5 times. Great movie. Do you hear me? It's Christmas Day. If y'all don't take y'all family down to see Concussion, you are missing out on life.
Also, last thing I want to throw out at you before we jump to the break and come back with 10 to Stewie, man. You headed down to the Georgia Dome the day after the game, man. Alcorn State taking on North Carolina A&T. The Bros downtown tailgating. It's going to be crazy.
Where the Bros tailgating at, man?
I'm not exactly sure. I got to look at the flyer.
Oh, man, you blew that.
I got to look at the flyer. But they're going to be down there. I mean, everybody can't eat, though. I mean, we put in some money to get this food. I'm just saying, come on down and support the first Celebration Bowl in the ATL. Representing the MEAC, North Carolina A&T, and representing the SWAC, Alcorn States. My man Steve McNair's old school.
My good friends at Piece of Cake have a special every single Tuesday. You come in there and buy a piece of cake, and you get a piece of cake half off.
That can't just put Nip on blast. I mean, Dante, my cousin Gus is in there. He broke some type of man law, right?
Some kind. I don't know which one he did, but he broke some.
You cannot tell on Hustle, man. Don't go away. When we get back, 10 the Stewie. The Two Live Stew, 640 WGST.
Shrek 10 is a great movie, too.
Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play. So, you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STEW to play for free. That's STEW for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STEW, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STEW. Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BB Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you. This is your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-File, prescription savings, and fully encompassed prepaid legal benefits that include identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedougstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7.
The world's heavyweight champions of sports and guy talk radio. The two live stews, Doug Stewart, Ryan Stewart.
Ooh-wee.
640 WGST as well as iHeartRadio.
38-0, man. 38-0.
What's
You mean to
38-0?
tell me there's 60 minutes of professional football played, and you've got players on the field that make millions of dollars. You can't generate a safety. You can't get 2 points. 38-0 was the score Sunday.
That was unbelievable.
Versus a
that
rival.
was actually unbelievable.
Sir, do you realize that the last time the Falcons and Carolina played, they lost like 34-3 last December?
Yeah.
So you turn around and come back and get wally-whopped 38-0?
You kind of killing Tim the Stewie here. We were supposed to do this in the first question.
I'm sorry.
You're listening to the Two Live Stews, Doug Stewart, Ryan Stewart, 640 WGST. Happy holidays to everybody out there, man. Merry Christmas,
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
New Year, all of that stuff, man. Check out the Doug Stewart Show Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Online, all you got to do is search thedougstewartshow.com. Not search, or go to thedougstewartshow.com and check your boy out.
Bruce Hagan, attorney at law, personal injury is all he does, okay? You're not going to call the plumber and tell the plumber that your kid's eyes are hurting. Can you look at the kid's eyes? You're not going to do that. So if you've got an injury situation going on, an accident, a slip and fall, you contact Bruce, Hagan-law.com at Hagan-law.com. Dante, what's up, cuz?
Well, since you jumped right into it, here we go again.
Here we go again. Here we go again.
The Falcons dropped yet another game, this time to the streaking Panthers. This makes 6 in a row, and 7 out of the last 8 they lost.
Damn.
How disappointed are you in the hometown Falcons, Doug?
I'm so disappointed, man. And people were scoffing at me last weekend when I was in Charlotte, man.
Scoffing.
Really, really belittling all the Falcons fans that are out there that were quiet as church mouse. I mean, we were at a crazy tailgate, man, and there were a couple Falcons fans sprinkled throughout. It's just disappointing, man. And I've been here. This is my 20th year once again, man.
You're not new to it.
No matter how great they start, no matter how good things look, it always ends up this way, man, with our hearts broken, man. It's very, very hurtful, Gus.
Why is it hurtful when folks have forgotten that this is the team that was 10-22 over the last 2 seasons? So this year, they were supposed to come out and win 16 games.
But, Ryan, they won, 5 games in a row?
Okay.
And they look good.
They won 5.
Julio was dominating. Everybody was saying Julio was the best wide receiver in the NFL. We got Vic Beasley. By the way, he leads the Falcons with sacks right now.
Oh,
with
congratulations.
Just 3.
Congratulations.
With just 3.
Congratulations.
But spirits were high.
10-22 over the last 2 seasons, man. You got a quarterback that has thrown 7 interceptions since the bye week.
And don't get me started on Matt Ryan.
You got a team that has 15 sacks. They've gotten 15 sacks, and the leading sack getter, Beasley, as you just mentioned, only has 3.
Only has 3.
Why are we surprised? Who did they beat to be 5-0, Doug?
Well,
the NFC East.
They beat
the Little Sisters of the Poor.
Yeah.
I just kept saying, folks, hey, man, don't do it to yourself.
But you were raining on everybody's parade. The team was 5-0. Spirits were high. Everybody was feeling good. And then you just came with all the negativity. Nobody was trying to hear that.
I've capitalized.
And nobody got time for that.
I've capitalized off of a lot of stupid bettors, okay? Emotional bettors. Go ahead, Gus.
Speaking of the Panthers, they are now 13-0. They have 3 games left against the Giants, our Falcons again, and finishing up with Tampa Bay. Would you rest your starters like Jim Caldwell did a few years ago up in Indianapolis? Or would you take the Belichick approach and go for the perfect 16-0?
16-0, sir. I'm keeping all cylinders fired up and ready to roll. If you're injured to the point where you might be hurt and you need the rest or have to have the rest, like they're doing with Jonathan Stewart, I'll sit him down.
It was very interesting watching Mike and Mike on ESPN, the Puppet Factory, this weekend, and Mike Greenberg was steadily saying how they should rest the players.
No.
Every former player that came in there was like, are you crazy?
Can I say something, man?
You got to have a competitive attitude, and competitors want to be the best ever and to achieve greatness. Of course I'm going for 16-0.
What does Greeny know about
sports?
Man.
You know, and they always kid around about how he's a nerd. I think he really is a nerd.
Man. He is, man.
Yeah.
What does he know, man?
I mean, everybody's like, are you kidding? No, we want to go for 16-0. A player, a competitor wants to achieve greatness, and I think I would definitely want to be one of the guys who wants to achieve greatness.
Play for perfection, and don't forget that Ron Rivera is a former Chicago Bear. He was there between 84 and 92.
So he played on the 85 Bears.
He played on the 85 Bears, the team that only lost 1 game. They lost in Week 13 to the Dolphins. that score was 24-38. You don't think that Ron Rivera remembers that one loss?
Yeah.
No, man.
Yeah.
He's going to play for perfection.
And I think they might do it.
Roy, you must have forgot Jones just got knocked the freak out this past weekend.
That was scary.
That was close.
By Martinelli. This has been a recurring theme with this dude lately. But when you saw him laid out on the canvas, Doug, what were your thoughts?
Man, when I saw Roy lay on that canvas, man, all I could think about was the great Roy Jones once upon a time.
They're great.
I mean, Roy Jones was so dynamic. He was the most fun person to watch in boxing. And then
He was fun.
Antonio Tarver happened, and we were actually there in Vegas.
Yep.
Antonio Tarver knocks out Roy Jones. He has never been the same since. After that, then it was Glenn Johnson, then Antonio Tarver again. And Roy just looks real, real bad. This is probably the worst case. He's 46 years old right now. This is probably the worst case of a boxer holding on too long. Roy, somebody got to stop him, man. It's bad.
It's kind of funny. I watched Roy fight versus Paul Vasquez in March on the 28th.
Mm-hmm.
And he got a TKO like in the first and second round.
Yeah.
All right.
But he has no chin no more. He can't get hit. He still can do some of the things that he did back in the day,
right,
but he can't get hit.
I'm going to keep this simple, man. Roy needs to let it go. And now Putin has invited him to have Russian citizenship so they can make a mockery of him and beat his tail.
What?
Yeah. You know he's got Russian citizenship, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. It's all a sideshow for Putin. It's all a sideshow.
Right.
And Roy needs to get out of there, man. He's really going to hurt himself.
Very bad stuff. And you're listening to the Two Live Stews.
Odell Beckham goes ham against the Dolphins on Monday Night Football. He's just one of a ton of great young receivers in the NFL today. If you were starting a team, you starting a team, who's the first receiver you would pick? Beckham, or would you roll with somebody else?
I'm going between. I'm gonna flip a coin.
I mean, there's a bunch of great ones now.
I'm gonna flip a coin.
Beckham, Antonio Brown.
Hold on, man.
Odell Beckham, Calvin Johnson.
I'm gonna flip a coin.
AJ Green.
And depending on where that coin falls, I'm either gonna take Antonio Brown first,
who's a beast,
or I'm gonna take Rob Gronkowski first.
Rob Gronkowski.
Yes.
And let's say wide receivers.
Well,
Rob Gronkowski's a tight end.
Well, you can't tell me who to pick on my team.
But the question asks wide receivers.
No. Listen.
Why don't you play along?
You use Gronk as a wide receiver all the time. He lines up in the backfield. He blocks. He pass catches. Yeah, I'm using between Brown and Gronk.
It wasn't that hard.
And then Beckham is after those two. But that's the two I'm going with first.
It wasn't that hard. He didn't say catching, positions. He said wide receivers. You just not going to pick a wide receiver.
I'm done.
Gronkowski.
Yes.
You're listening to the Two Live Stews, 640 WGST.
I'm done.
I think I'd still go with Julio Jones. Even though he hadn't done anything over the last couple of weeks, I don't blame him. More so, I blame the offense. I blame the coordinator, Shanahan. I blame the quarterback, but not Julio. If you talk about the combination of size, speed, skill, catching ability, explosiveness, I still would go with Julio, even though he hadn't done a damn thing over the last 5 weeks.
He hadn't done anything in 5 weeks, but he's still
6 or
leading
7
the league.
weeks.
He's still leading the league in receptions or yardage. Okay,
right.
So he hadn't done anything, but he still got that number. That means something. But Julio.
So outside of Rob Gronkowski, who's the next guy you take?
I said between I said between Beckham, Gronk, and Antonio Brown.
Okay, so who's next? After Gronkowski, who's the guy you take then?
I would go AJ Green, then I would go Julio.
Okay, well, you went with AJ Green.
Yeah,
was that hard?
But it's my list. It's my list. And the problem I got with Julio, man, is there's a good likelihood that he's going to drop 1 or 2 balls every other game or so. He drops balls a lot, man.
No,
in my
he doesn't
eyes.
drop balls a lot.
All right.
I don't see that.
All right.
Yeah, I don't see that.
You might want to watch these games then.
The highly sought-after Jacob Eason finally commits to the Dogs. He's had some hesitation, though, after Coach Rick was fired. No one knows. But what do you think about the youngin coming all the way from the great Northwest up to Athens?
Expectations are very high. One thing that really struck me very interesting about Jacob Eason is he looks like Matthew Stafford.
Just like Stafford.
And Mark Richt's been great at going and getting these quarterbacks from other places and bringing them into Georgia, man. The problem I think he's going to have is expectations are going to be too high because of how bad the Dogs have played over the last couple of years and his profile coming in. We'll see, though.
Listen, man, I'm very glad that he made a commitment to himself and not to Coach Rick. He committed to Georgia and not to Coach Rick. I'm glad he did not follow Rick down to Miami.
235 of 338 passes, man. The dude threw for a ton of yards, winning the state championship in Washington. We'll see if he pans out.
CBD enriched liquid. You can find it right now at Housing Organics. HalfSeatOrganics.com. Check them out, folks.
All right, when we get back from the break, man, the second half of 10 the Steway, well, we'll talk about everything that happened this past weekend in the world of sports and entertainment. Don't go away. This is the Two Live Stews.
Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BB Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2000, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
Welcome back to the Two Live Stews. Doug Stewart, Ron Stewart, 640 WGST.
Ooh-wee.
Stupendous Saturday to you. They're showing Steve McNair highlights on ESPN.
That cat was a beast, man.
The Celebration Bowl today right here in ATL at the Georgia Dome.
That cat was a beast, man.
Yeah. R.I.P., brother.
Tradition and innovation, custom mixology, find 20 grand anywhere in the country by simply logging on to 20grandvodka.com. We have it at the tailgates, which there will be another one next week that we're looking forward to you guys coming out to and enjoying. And 20 grand's just that thing, man. It's good stuff.
Great stuff. Great stuff. You're listening to the Two Live Stews. Walter, I appreciate the little Christmas music twist, man. You on your P's and Q's, brother.
He's doing all right. It's not his best performance.
What?
He watched us have better shows.
Hey, happy holidays, everybody out there. Merry Christmas. What you got planned for Christmas, man? You going to the crib?
I'm debating going down to the crib for a day because of our cousins having a little.
The crib is the house where we're from. No, everybody don't know that terminology. I got to remember that type of thing.
Do your job. Our cousin's having a little set-out day party the day after Christmas, man. So probably be a lot of good people there. So I want to get down there for that. So we'll see, man. But slow motion, man. Just daddy duty, man. cooking a lot of food, smoking a lot of food on a big green egg, and just having daddy duty, man.
Hey, man, the two live stews, Doug Stewart and Ron Stewart, y'all know how we do it, but I do it every day, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on my own show, thedougstewartshow.com.
A show that I haven't been invited on in 2-3 weeks.
Tune in, man. The show is just like the stews, but it's one stew. One stew is better than no stew, so tune in to thedougstewartshow.com Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern time.
One stew and another stew waiting for an invite that just doesn't come. You know?
Hey, Gus, second half of 10 the Stew, hey. Yes, sir.
I mean, you're my brother, man. I figured you let me come on your show and talk some sports.
Yes, sir.
As I enjoy CBD oil live on air.
Can you come on the show tomorrow, man? I think that's against the rules for you to be doing that in the studio, man.
Can I do what?
Can you come on the show tomorrow, man?
Around what time?
What's good for you? Let's say 11:15.
Oh,
we're in the second hour of the show at that time.
Just about any time except for 11:15. What else you got, man?
Local kid now playing for Ole Miss, Rober NKemdeechee wilds out. This guy's breaking windows, scaling walls.
Spider-Man out this piece.
And falling out of hotel windows. What's your thought on this story, and will this affect his NFL draft stock?
It's not going to mess with his stock, okay? But they're going to dig much deeper now into everything Rober NKemdeechee.
The scouts.
Not that they weren't going to dig the first time already, but they're going to really dig now.
So basically this is a red flag.
This is a red flag now.
Yeah.
And I think he probably could have been close to perfect prior to the situation. But, yeah, man, this stuff that these young kids getting their hands on today, man, it's ridiculous.
What do you mean stuff?
Yeah, man, come on, man. You know what it was. For a guy that's For a guy to fall through a triple glass pane window at a hotel downtown Atlanta.
Now, when the story first came out, they said it was from the 4th floor. And it's actually only 15 feet, they said, after the story came out.
Okay.
And I thought, 4th floor, he's supposed to be dead.
He's supposed to be dead.
But 15 feet, you can fall 15 feet and be okay.
And he landed in a bush. But that's not the issue here, is that the 6'4", 296-pounder went through a triple-paned glass window.
What do you think was going on in there? They said the room was in shambles.
Man, this was a party that Rick James wouldn't even have wanted to be at, man. They had so much, well, allegedly.
Allegedly.
They had so many women of the evening and narcotics in that room, man, that Rick James wouldn't have been in that room, man.
The local kid from Grayson High School, man, I remember when he was in high school, they had him at tailback, running the ball. Beast.
And he was nice.
He's going to be like a top 10 pick. Yeah. I think this might hurt him a little bit, kind of like Warren Sapp, the same situation when he came out of the University of Miami. Not a lot, though. If he keeps his nose clean, he's going to be a top 10 pick again for real.
Should he play in the Sugar Bowl, sir, versus Oklahoma State?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the kid made a mistake. It probably got out of hand.
What's the message, man? What's the message if he plays in that game?
The message is that we're forgiving people in this country, man.
We're forgiving people, man, but there's got to be examples, and people got to be held to them, man. I mean, if you falling out of the windows because you allegedly were doing something that you shouldn't have been doing.
Allegedly.
Okay. All right. Okay, Gus. I'm sorry.
Peyton Manning back at practice this week for the Broncos. Denver hasn't scored a touchdown in their last 23 drives. They're still going to make the playoffs, though. Who's your quarterback if you're Gary Kubiak? Is it Osweiler or is the future Hall of Famer down the stretch?
It would have to be Peyton Manning. There's no way I'm going to go into the playoffs in a playoff game and I can play Brock Osweiler or one of the top 4 or 5 quarterbacks of all time if he's healthy. He's healthy. He's taking a lot of rest. Whenever he's had rest after the bye week, he's done well. Mm-hmm. You got to put Peyton Manning out there. There's no way you don't put Peyton Manning out there.
Miles and Mason can throw the ball better than Peyton Manning right now.
That's your sons, by the way.
Brock Osweiler has done a good job. He's 3-1. Last week, Oakland's Khalil Mack got his hands on him 5 times.
5 times.
I blame that on the O-line more than Osweiler.
But that's pocket presence. That's awareness. That's being a young quarterback.
Osweiler's been sacked 17 times in 4 starts. Peyton's only sacked 15. He holds onto the ball maybe. But at the end of the day, this kid is the kid that's winning ball games. He's got velocity in the ball. He's the reason why they're going to win. Peyton Manning is a detriment. Play for this season's Super Bowl, not for Peyton Manning's legacy. Play for this year, the best player.
And do you know they would never live that down if they tried to Brock Osweiler out there and he peed the bed and they lost in the playoffs. You had Peyton Manning on the bench? That's healthy?
You're not just putting him in a Super Bowl. He's already building a resume for you to see.
But we're talking about trying to win a Super Bowl this year. There's no coach in their right mind that would try Brock Osweiler out there. Peyton Manning's healthy, sir. You played in the NFL. I got to give you that. So you probably know a little bit better than me the culture, but I don't see that.
He had no velocity velocity on his balls. He was overthrowing guys and bouncing the ball to guys. Osweiler hadn't done that.
Yeah, but he's been out for 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks now.
Okay, I'm sorry, man. I'm going with the guy that's got the hot hand.
Wow.
Not an old Peyton Manning.
Mike Pettine says Russell Wilson isn't a top-tier quarterback. Woo. Ryan, is he right? Is this guy smoking that crack?
When you think top tier, you're thinking the elite of the elite, and there's 2 or 3 guys like that. And if you are not willing to put Russell Wilson's name in that 2 or 3, you're smoking just like Robert NKemdeechee. Yeah, man, the kid is the second highest percentage rated quarterback right now at 68.8. Second highest to old boy in Washington, so that number's a little skewed. But he doesn't make mistakes. He's thrown 16 touchdowns in his last 4 ball games. He's playing incredible football right now.
Completing 89 of 118 passes for 1,171 yards.
Won a Super Bowl. It was a stupid play call away from winning 2 and being a impact player in those games.
Yeah.
He's elite, sir.
He's thrown at least 4 touchdown passes in each of the past 3 games, including his 5 during a 35-6 victory over the Ravens this past Sunday. That's crazy when I heard that. You just shouldn't say that. Being a coach in a position like that, you shouldn't even say that.
What do you want if he's not elite? And the quarterbacks that you have, you've got the audacity to talk about somebody not being elite. The guy is 110 rated quarterback. That's the highest quarterback rating for a starter in the NFL. That's better than Tom Brady.
What's your cutoff for elite? Because Drew Brees isn't elite anymore. He's not the same Drew Brees. Peyton Manning's not the same guy. So you basically got Tom Brady, who I got an issue with because he's always cheating. You got Ben Roethlisberger. You got Cam Newton.
Put Eli in there.
You got Cam Newton.
Put Eli in there. I know he hadn't played well early in the season, but
Eli. Would you take Eli before you take Russell Wilson right now?
He's got 2 Super Bowls. I would take Russell Wilson. I would take Wilson
right now. But the question was right now. The question is right now. You wouldn't take Russell Wilson over Eli.
I'll take Russell.
There we go.
I'll take Russell.
He's elite.
I'll take Russell.
The very
Patton's a jackass. I just wanted to add that in.
The very outspoken Charles Barkley is at it again. Says the 72-win Bulls team would kill this year's Golden State Warriors. Agree or disagree, Doug?
Man, you kidding me, right? That Bulls team will kill this little team. Right. Come on, man. Who's going to guard Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan? What about Dennis Rodman? Come on, man.
I
know we live in the moment. First of all, let me tell you something. These guys ain't won a championship yet. I still like the Spurs, to be honest with you.
Wow.
I do. I still like the Spurs to win the championship this year. I'm telling you, don't just because these guys are beating up on inferior competition, don't overreact now.
Barker's a hater. He's a hater, but he's right in this.
Okay, I was about to say, man.
Don't get crazy.
Easy.
He is a hater.
Yeah.
He's been hating on Golden State, talking about a jump shooting team would never win the NBA championship. They did that.
Right.
Hell, they're off the 24-1 record this year.
Yep.
So they're a great team, but I agree with them.
Now, the Spurs are playing better basketball right now, man, but you can't talk that way about the defending champion.
Right.
You should not talk. Not just because they're the defending champion, but also because on that resume is what they're doing right now. Their body of work right now, they deserve more respect than Barkley's given.
The tenacity of that 95-96 Bulls team would overwhelm this team here. It's as simple as that.
They would run these boys out
You're
of the
talking
gym.
about 3-4 of the best defenders ever in the history of the game.
Yep.
When you're talking about Ron Harper, you're talking about Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, and Michael Jordan. They would suffocate this team. Now, Golden State would get theirs. I wouldn't say it'd be like a sweep in a 7-game series, but I'd say it'd end in 6 at the most, maybe 5.
I wouldn't say a sweep, man. They might get a game. But the physicality of the game from one team would just be overbearing on the other.
Right.
Yeah, that Bulls team would really be strong, man.
Right.
And I think Golden State's a little suspect sometimes when it comes to that.
Yeah, and once again, I just don't know about the toughness. Yeah. Like Michael Jordan used to just slap people in practice just because their intensity wasn't there. This Warriors team doesn't seem to have that tenacity like they did back in the day.
As much as I like Green, man, the worm would outworm Green.
Right.
Okay.
And Green is one of those is the toughest player on that team, Draymond Green, but he's still not in the category with a Dennis Rodman and those guys.
Let's finish up this 10 the stew way, the right way, Gus. What we got, dog?
Well, we talked about it a little earlier. How just excited are you guys to see the new Star Wars movie? And what's your favorite sci-fi movie or television show?
I am super excited, man. and I'm going to find a way to get down there, even though they were charging $16 last night, $17 in my area.
Unethical about that.
They made like $200 million overnight.
That's unethical.
But I'm going to see it at some point this week, and I'm going to figure out a way, break the piggy bank, and do something, man. I got to go see this movie. First time we saw it, man, back in the day, I was like 8 years old. I'm still excited about Star Wars. My favorite character is the great Buck Rogers.
Stop by the house by 5. My man Nipper have it for us. Nipper have it by 5 o'clock. I sent him a text. And I said, Nip, you get that Star Wars?
That's very disrespectful to the great George Lucas.
He replied, ... Damn straight.
May the Force not be with you, sir. May the Force not be with you.
What does that mean?
This is very disrespectful what you're saying here now, man. Today is National Star Wars Day. A new Star Wars movie came out this morning, and you acted like just talking about Nip giving you a bootleg.
You do look like RDD2, whatever that guy's name is.
You, your mama.
Well, we do have different moms, so.
No, my mother is the mother you think is your mother, but it's actually my mother. She don't look nothing like you. Nothing. All right, when we get back from the break, man, the Funky Four. 4 biggest games this weekend in the world of the NFL. Don't
Bruce
go away.
Hagen, baby. Bruce Hagen.
What up, Bruce?
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play. So, you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. This is your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-file, prescription savings, and fully encompassed prepaid legal benefits that include identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedougstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7.
I'm actually I guess you would call me a sci-fi geek.
Ooh-wee!
Welcome back to the Two Live Stews. Doug Stewart, Ryan Stewart, 640 WGST, as well as iHeartRadio.
I'm a tech head. I'm a techie, but I'm not a sci-fi geek.
Because, I mean, I like Buck Rogers. I like Star Trek back in the day.
Isn't Buck Rogers a horse?
Oh, Buck Rogers, man.
What is Buck Rogers?
Buck Rogers, the TV show. It was kind of like, Star Wars kind of, space theme back in the day, TV show.
No, I was.
You don't remember Battlestar Galactica?
Nah, man, I was busy doing push-ups and abs, man.
Yeah, whatever.
I was working on becoming the best athlete I could be, man. I wasn't watching no freaking TV.
In 1979 is when Aliens came out. You remember where we saw that movie at?
I do.
Where did we see that?
Aviation Theater.
No, we saw that movie in New York City over the summer. and we went and saw it.
Oh,
So
Uncle Jimmy, right?
With Cousin Jimmy, yeah.
And
so I remember vividly, this was like one of the scariest movies I've ever seen in my life, man, Alien. If you're 10 years old and you saw Alien back in 1979, that movie was crazy scary.
But if you went back and watched that movie today, right now, you would be highly disappointed in everything.
Stupid as hell. Dumb Jamie Lee Curtis. Or was it Jamie Lee Curtis? Whatever the other lady is.
I don't think it was Jamie Lee Curtis, man.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and talk about the 4 biggest games this weekend in the world of the NFL. We call it the Funky 4.
Well, of course, we got to start. Well, we should start with the Celebrity Bowl, but we're not going to do that. We mentioned it earlier.
Well, yeah, the Celebration Bowl.
Celebration Bowl.
Going down right now. As a matter of fact, kickoff is at 12 p.m. today at the Georgia Dome. Once again, the Alcorn State. I don't even know what their mascot is. Warriors? Indians or something. I believe they're Indians out of the SWAC. Taking on the North Carolina A&T Aggies from the MEAC, which is my conference. I went to South Carolina State. First time ever at the Georgia Bowl, at the Georgia Dome. 100 Black Men of Atlanta are all over this thing, sponsoring this thing, man. Going down there and support, man.
Shout out to the 100, man. I'm going to talk about these Falcons and these Jacksonville Jaguars because I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win this football game, and I don't think they're going to have a hard time doing it.
Wow.
I don't think they're going to have a hard time doing it, man.
They're actually the Braves, not the Warriors, not the Indians. I knew it was something like that.
Jacksonville, they might end the season with the losing record, but they still can find themselves into the playoffs. The Falcons are facing that first 7-game losing streak that they've had in 12 seasons. And keep in mind, man, that this is a Jaguar team that beat the Colts 51-16 last week. The Falcons lost to the Colts 24-21 with a backup quarterback. I really think that Jacksonville is going to rock the house of the Atlanta Falcons this weekend, man. I feel bad.
They put up a lot of points over the last couple of weeks, as you mentioned. 51 points last week.
90 points in 2 games. Bortles has had 8 touchdowns without any picks in the last few games, man.
Not looked so good the last couple of weeks for the Atlanta Falcons.
That's my first game. So who's your first game?
The Denver Broncos taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh 8-5, man, been playing great football over the last couple of weeks. Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown, probably the best quarterback, wide receiver combination in the league.
Can I cut you off?
And I want to see what happens with Brock Osweiler. Last week doesn't do anything offensive-wise, production-wise, as far as throwing the football. Can he sustain and keep his job going forward into the playoffs?
I just had an epiphany.
What?
You do realize that when Peyton originally got hurt, that they said he'd be out 2 to 3 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's been 5 now.
Yeah, he started practicing this week. He's not going to start this Sunday.
He has been being held out, sir.
Yeah, he's trying to get healthy.
No, Doug.
Let's do this. How about this?
He could have played already, Doug.
I'm tired of you.
He could have played already, Doug.
So
but the coach is doing the right thing by leaving Osweiler in the game because Peyton played so bad to start the season.
And you're listening to the Two Live Stews. So you're not saying that they won't make the change. You're saying you wouldn't make the change.
No, I'm saying that they are not going to make the change unless Osweiler falls on his face.
Okay.
If he falls on his face, they'll make the change. But if not, if he keeps playing the way he's played, he will continue to be the quarterback.
Okay, how can we turn this into some type of bet? And you're listening to the Two Live Stews.
He ain't got it.
Who won't have it? Who doesn't?
Me. That means me.
Who's Ian?
I don't have it.
I understand you. That's low country talk.
He ain't got it.
Sir, Peyton Manning will play for the Denver Broncos and start a game this year at some point. I don't care what Osweiler does.
Okay.
At some point, he's not going to be great, and that's when they're going to pull him.
If this boy keep winning football games, Peyton's ass is grass in Denver. Okay?
So that's the first game I'm looking forward to, Denver versus Pittsburgh. What's your game 2?
Carolina. I want to watch Cam continue to go towards perfection. There's going to be no Jonathan Stewart. This will be the Beckham versus Josh Norman battle clash of all Titans this season when it comes to DB versus receiver. Josh Norman is the guy that has defended several passes. He's 7th in the league. Opposing quarterbacks are 50.5 when attacking him. I really like Beckham here. He's got 12 TDs. I have to say that Cam will continue to rise and do what he's been doing.
We're running out of time, but I'm going to take the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Cleveland Browns against the Seattle Seahawks this weekend. We're very interested to see if Seattle can continue their winning ways. We talked about how great Russell Wilson's been playing over the last 4 games, really historical. He's become the first quarterback since at least 1960 to have a passer rating of 138.5 or better in 4 consecutive games. And also, Johnny Manziel won a game last week. How does he handle that atmosphere out in Seattle? Seattle's favored in this game by 17 points.
That's too many points.
Have you ever seen an NFL team favored by 17 points? I've never seen that I can remember.
Russell Wilson the way he's played the last 2 weeks. And
it's in Seattle, the 12th man.
Yeah, I get that.
Young quarterback.
And it's Cleveland.
Yeah.
It's Cleveland.
Yeah.
That's a high number, though.
17 points.
I believe in Johnny. I think he'll still be a good quarterback, man.
I agree with you. There you have it, man.
Oh, yeah, real quick, for the record, I think Josh Norman.
Week 16 of the 2 Live Studios.
I think Josh Norman wins this battle.
Wow.
I do. I think he wins this battle.
He's playing great football, man.
And so is Beckham. It's going to be good to watch, man.
That Beckham is a bad boy.
Shouts out to my man Bruce Hagen, the People's Lawyer. Check him out at hagen-law.com. Make sure you call him if you have any situations or thoughts towards accidents and things like that. He'll take care of it.
All right, man. Episode 16 of the 2 Live Studios. We'll see you again next week. Be careful this weekend.
Love God, love each other.
Peace.
The drummer get wicked. The crew to you to put the back, the black attack. So I sack and jab and slack the Mac. Now I'm